Hard work, hard work.
Wait a minute. Maybe next time Azeez should just do two-hand touch.
Hard work, hard work. Hard work, hard work. Hard work, work. There you go. Hard work, work. Everybody doing it right. Hard work, work. Hard work. That's what you say. Hard work, work, work. Earn more pay. Hard work, work. Hard work. Do it every day. Hard work, work. Get up out of quarter to three. Hard work, work. Let go and earn more pay. Hard work, work. Boots on and lace.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? You're tuned to the Sports Talk with Big Sarge show. I'm your host, Big Sarge. Make sure you follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter at Big Sarge Sports with a Z at the end. Follow me on the Tick and the Talk at Big Sarge Media. Make sure you're subscribed to my YouTube channel at Big Sarge Media. Follow me on Instagram at Big Sarge Sports with a Z at the end. Because you know we do everything for the gram. And make sure you subscribe to the Locked On Texans podcast and you subscribe to the Locked On Texans YouTube page. What's going on, Alexis? Good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. All right. Hold on. I still got to have my coffee. Hey, y'all see what my cup say, right? It says my brain has too many tabs open. All right. Y'all know we got a lot to discuss on today. You see where I said Azeez hit, let everyone know that we are in the soft era of football. We're going to talk about that a little bit later on. We're going to talk about how the Houston Texans improved to 8-5 heading into the bye week. They still lead the AFC South. Oh my God, get it together, Sarge. We're going to talk about how, looking back, Houston Texans have played a lot of football. And having a late bye week may be some of the reasons why they sputtered at the end heading into the bye week. We'll talk about that. And like I said, we'll definitely get to Azeez's big hit. And oh, wait, hold on, y'all. I got to write this down because I don't want to forget this. Hold on one second, because I am writing this down, and when I tell y'all what it is, then y'all gonna be like, okay, Sarge, we'll give you that little bit of time to say what you need to say. There we go. Instead of the bam. All right. Good morning. I do too. Good morning. Good morning. So, all right, before I get started and before we get talking about the Houston Texans victory over the Jacksonville Jaguars, which they won 23-20, I got to tell you about my weekend real quick. So, what's good? And side note, before I even start saying this, there's some people that's in the YouTube comments talking about, oh, Sarge, your show is going downhill. Mr. Sarge, you do a lot of wasted content, and I don't have time. I don't, and Texans fans don't have time to. Hey, bro, this ain't a Texan show. Like, it's called Sports Talk with Big Sarge, and I talk a lot about the Texans, but this ain't just a Texan show. This is called Sports Talk with Big Sarge. If you want just strictly Texans content, then go to the Locked On Texans podcast. Now, in 2025, we're definitely going to be way more sports than we are just Texans based. I talk a lot of Texans. I talk a lot of Texans, and don't get me wrong, we're going to talk some Rockets too. I'm going to have some guests on this week. We're going to talk about some Rockets, especially since the Texans are in a bye week and the Rockets are getting ready to have a play-in game. But this is a sports talk show, so we're going to talk sports here. We talk all sports here. And so if you just strictly want Texans content, then go to Locked On Texans podcast. You can hear me talk Texans all day long. Another reason why one of my highest priorities when it comes to sports talk with Big Sarge is the Houston Texans, is because the Texans gave me an opportunity to cover this team under Big Sarge Media LLC. The hard work that I put in to establish myself in this industry, in not only just the local market, but the national market as well. The work that I put in, they seen that and they appreciate that, and I appreciate them. Hold on, Azeez, the New Age Cushion, I fully support. Good morning, by the way. Good morning. So, what's good? And so, now, was that enough wasted content for you? I hope you've already left. I'm just saying, you can go ahead and leave if you like. What up, Tony? What up, J Rock? And you're not going to come on here and dictate to me on how I run my show. If you want to dictate how I run my show, then pay me for it. If you pay me for it, if you want to be one of the sponsors, if you can sponsor this show, then of course you can be like, hey, Sarge, this is how I want the format to be. But until then, now I'm going to do it the way I want to do it. Now, as I digress, Lord, exactly, AD. Look, before I even start talking about Texans, I went to the Usher concert on Friday. By far, one of the best concerts I have been to in a very, very, very long time. Like that Kirk Franklin concert was good, but that Usher concert, man, that was a show. That was a show. Woo-wee. What up, Tay? Exactly. I think he did. Did AAD answer that question? I went to the Usher show. That was by far one of the best shows I've been to. That's like top 5 all time. I've been to a lot of concerts in my life. That Usher one was great. That Usher one was great. Hold on for a second. Watch your mouth, AD. Watch your mouth now. You letting that Texas A&M get a little close to get a little bit too close. Remember now, went to Prairie View. Don't make me go MSC alumni. All right. So once again, hey, hold on, y'all. 1 second. Hold on 1 second. I gotta look at something, y'all. Y'all give me a second. Because I know. When did we say? Okay. I got a special treat for y'all coming up next Monday. On next Monday's show, we're gonna talk about something. I got y'all. I got a guest. I got a special guest for y'all coming up on next Monday's show. I think y'all really gonna like it, and I think y'all gonna really like the interaction. This is by far one of the best people in the local market talking Houston Texans football, and I can't wait to have him on the show. I'm not gonna tell you who it is just yet, but you'll see. All right. So I went to the Usher concert. The concert was amazing. One of the issues that I did have though is that look, on Wednesday, was it Wednesday? You brought out Bun B. On Saturday, you brought out Nelly. When I went, you brought out Rodney Glasper. I don't even know who that is. I have no clue. I had no clue who he was. Now, don't get me wrong. The young man is talented. That's my first time like really hearing him. Like he's talented. So I'll give him that. But man, I wanted to see like why you couldn't bring out Meg. Meg wasn't available. You couldn't find Meg. Like Meg didn't want to do the show. She wasn't in town. You couldn't have got Meg to do it. Hell, at that point, I would have rather just hear Still Tipping. Paul Wall could have came out. You could have brought out Mike Jones. Was Slim Thug busy? Like, I don't know who this guy is that you brought out. So, I mean, like, that's one of the things. Second thing I have. Hey, y'all, give me a moment. Give me 1 second. Just give me, look, if you don't like this part of the show, then leave and come back. But just give me 1 second. Usher had women going crazy over some fruit. Usher had women going crazy over some fruit. Now, let me tell you how my mind works. Let me just tell you how Big Sarge's mind worked. Usher had these women going crazy over some fruit that he stuck his bare hands into, that was in an open container, that he touched all of after touching everything else. And then y'all went crazy and let him put these cherries in your mouth. Your mouth. That's one of the most hygienic things I've ever seen in my life. And I get it. I got it. But you're also talking to a man who really don't like strip clubs because it's nasty in there. The money is nasty. And if you go to a strip club to eat, you know what? I need to write that down. That's for Buzzed and Petty. Where my Buzzed and Petty list at? Y'all got to give me a second because I got my list that I'm going to talk about. Well, here we go. I need to put this over here. We're going to talk about that one, on that Buzzed and Petty podcast on the Patreon. Hold on. Eating in strip clubs. Okay. Well, we definitely gonna talk about that because I'm gonna tell y'all how I feel about, like, I don't want wings and booty juice on my wings. So I digress. Y'all let Usher put these cherries in y'all mouth from an open bowl container that he been breathing on, other people been breathing on. He's sticking his hands in it. I don't never remember Usher taking a long enough time to go to the back and take a shower. And like Usher sweated a lot. Hey, look, I mean, I get it. He could have put on some Axe body spray or something, but that man was sweating a lot. Pause. And then he stuck his hands in the chair. Y'all women was going crazy over some fruit. Some fruit. On another note, first of all, where me and my wife sat was too high. Usher couldn't even throw a cherry up that high. And I loved it. First, that them seats was amazing to me. I'm away from everything. I ain't got to be in the rigmarole. I can still see what I need to see. Usher had these huge monitors behind him. I can see the show. Everything. The section I was in felt like the interracial dating section, which was amazing because I'm watching all these offbeat, non-rhythmic people. I'm not going to tell you what ethnicity they were, but they were offbeat. One woman had a full light while she was doing her Instagram posts or TikToks or whatever she was doing. Another one wouldn't sit down in front of us. Two of them filmed the whole show. Like, it was a whole production going on. But the show was amazing. But if I would allow my wife or my significant other to go to that Usher show, and I'd be like, oh man, yeah. Oh yeah, how was it? Wait a minute. Is that you got your tongue out and your eyes closed for another man because he got fruit? You going this crazy over some fruit. You got what are you doing with your life? Oh, I'm not gonna even lie. If I had a significant other that was at the Usher concert and she had her eyes closed and her mouth open, waiting on some cherries, she might as well go ahead and ask her mama, can she move back in? No, or hey, you can have this place. I'm out. I'm gonna go stay with my partner or my other chick until we can make sure that we get this stuff. Wait, did I just say my other chick? Damn, that's kind of hypocritical then, right? Because if you got a side chick and you get mad at your main chick because Usher put cherries in her mouth, but you closed your eyes though and opened your mouth like you was waiting on something else. It's just nasty, y'all. That's just nasty. It's horrible. That's horrible. I don't listen. Over some cherries, you could buy cherries at HEB, Whole Foods, Kroger, Aldo or Aldi or what's that other thing? I don't ever shop in there because I can never understand what it is. You can buy cherries by the bushel from Sam's, right, or Costco. Hell, you can walk in the grocery store and eat cherries and just walk around the store and eat cherries. You got your mouth open and your eyes closed for some fruit. I digress. Yes, only Usher could get away with that. Strip club wings, though. A lot of things hit at the strip club. Good morning, Big Sword. You're the greatest part of waking up every morning. Appreciate that. I appreciate that. Hey, I'm gonna talk about the Rockets was balling. The Rockets was balling. You didn't have to come for their souls like this. Oh man. Cousin, we're gonna talk about that. That was not a dirty play. You stay right there. Don't leave. Hey, matter of fact, cousin, I can't wait to come to the barbershop. I can't wait to come to the barbershop on Thursday because I know Usher was in the section that y'all was in. And when he had on the red coat, he opened his coat up, and I want to see what happened when he opened up his coat. No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm not saying you did anything, but I just want to talk about the people that was around you. Just saying. Hey, look, if y'all know anything about my cousin and my cousin's wife, my cousins. Hey, look, Usher would have walked over there with the chairs. My cousin right here, he'd have knocked the whole bowl over. And if he didn't knock it over, his wife would have knocked it over. They ain't playing that. I just want to know though, when he came to your section, what happened though when he opened up the red coat? I know he was musty under that thing. Lord Jesus. Man, let Beyonce pull some fruit out, mouth wide open. What? No. Hey, look, no, because that's just like, no, I'm not opening my mouth for fruit. No, not where was that fruit washed? Where that fruit come from? Where did those cherries come from? Who had them first? It was an open container. No, I don't care. Listen, Beyonce, Halle Berry, Eva Mendes, like none of them. No, never. No, I don't play them type of games. They wanted the forbidden cherries, not the fruit. I should need to hang around James Harden in those strip clubs. I mean, Beyonce and Meg Peaches. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna screenshot this so I can show it to your wife next time I see her. Look at you. You done busted yourself over here being horny. I told you about that. I told you about coming to the Sports Talk with Big Star show trying to be all horny, AD. I'm gonna screenshot this and I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna show your wife next time we at a get together. I'm gonna be like, hey, did you know your husband like peaches? How do you know he washed his hands? That's what I'm saying. When did a concert become a food drive? Boy, y'all are crazy this morning, man. Oh man, appreciate that. Yeah, I try to get a couple of questions in every now and then if I got one, but I'm not one of them media members that if I don't have a question, I ain't gonna ask a question. If I ain't got it, if I don't have a question, I'm just gonna let other people ask their question. I don't ask questions just to ask questions. I don't talk just to talk when I'm in those presses. I gotta have there's gotta be something. All right, AD, you acting tough. I can't wait. Don't worry, I can't wait. You know what? I'm gonna tell my line brother to show why y'all at church. I want to see how you gonna act then. Take you right to the pastor and let you repent. AD, are you Catholic? Because if you're Catholic, you know what? I ain't trying to get canceled. I ain't trying. AD, I'm not putting that up there. All right. Once again, you tuned to the Sports Talk with Big Sar show. I'm your host, Big Sar. Let's go ahead and jump right into this thing. All right. On Sunday, the Texans defeated the Jags by a score of 23-20. And the roles were reversed. The roles were reversed on Sunday against Jacksonville. It looked like the offense came to play in the second half, and the defense didn't. The defense kind of regressed in the second half against the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I will say this, right? And it's gonna sound like I'm giving the defense a pass, but you just gotta bear with me. Just stick with me. And if you don't agree with me, I understand. It's okay. Drop it in the comments. Y'all know on this show, we talk. We talk right here. We talk. So if you disagree, you can drop it in the comments. If you think I'm capable, you can drop it in the comments. If you agree, drop it in the comments. I told you all, this is interactive. We talk back and forth to each other. I love it. I don't think that the defense was prepared to play against Mac Jones, because I know that Trevor Lawrence had been out some time and Mac Jones had played, and he had been out with that shoulder injury, and then they had the bye week. Then coming off the bye week, because I think that last game that they played, they lost Was the last game they played, was it against the Lions? They lost like 52-6 or something like that, 52-9. I don't know. They got blew out, I think, in their last game. If somebody can please drop that in the comments, I would appreciate that. But they uh they had played with Mac Jones a lot. So when Trevor Lawrence got hurt, and we're definitely going to talk about the hit. Y'all know we can't get off this show without talking about that hit. Hey, for those of you all who are wondering why I'm dressed like this, it's because I'm going to be on KPRC Plus today with Randy McElvoy talking some Houston Texans. So in between 11 and 11:30, we go on live. So if you do have the KPRC Plus app, I will be in studio talking some Houston Texans football. Appreciate that, Randy. But fix yourself, Sarge. Get your clothes together. Okay. So I don't think that the Houston Texans defense was prepared to play against Mac Jones. I think that they prepared to play against Trevor Lawrence, and seeing that they did play against him early in the season, I think that's what the tape that they had. I think that was the tape that they had and that they used, knowing that they were playing against Trevor Lawrence. And so now some of these players haven't played against Mac Jones. And I don't know how many of you all have played football before or watched football or analyzed football. I'm definitely not trying to insult your intelligence at all, period. I'm not here to do that today. Now, maybe on Wednesday, probably, but not today. It's not as easy as you think, because most people would think, okay, well, here comes a backup quarterback. The defense should just really be able to take advantage of that. True. If the backup quarterback hasn't been playing, let me give you an example. When Azeez got ejected from that game and they brought Neville Hewitt in, Neville Hewitt did play when Azeez was injured, but he hadn't played in a while. So now you bring him in, he's still trying to get acclimated to playing. So I wouldn't expect him to play on the same level as Azeez does. But with Mac Jones, with the backup quarterback for Jacksonville, I expected him to play the way that he played when he came into the game. If we're keeping it a buck, and like I said, I'm not trying to insult your football intelligence, but if we're keeping it a buck right here on Sports Talk with Big Sarge, they actually should have played Mac Jones anyway. The offense had gotten used to playing with Mac Jones. The offense had gotten used to playing with Mac Jones. That's why, with the connection that he had with those receivers in the second half, and he had those last two touchdown drives, which, by the way, those just weren't easy. It wasn't like the Houston Texans defense made it easy for him. They had to convert some of those fourth down plays, but it when you're preparing for one quarterback and you're looking at their tendencies and what they do and what the receivers do and what the running backs do and what the offensive line do, for that, and then all of a sudden things get switched around. You got players who've been in the league that has played against on that team that has played against Mac Jones, but there's a lot of players on that team that haven't played against Mac Jones and haven't played against Mac Jones in some time. So once the receivers are on the same page as as Mac Jones, because they're used to playing with him because Trevor Lawrence had been out. But the defenders now, they're at a real disadvantage because they don't know his tendencies. All they know is, okay, so I guess I'll be going to Locked On Texan. Hold on for a second, y'all. Give me a second. Cool. Have a great one. Appreciate it. Have a blessed day. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. Thank you, Tapped Out 713. So, I'm not doing that today. So, with that being said, though, I could see that they were one of the I could see why. But on the flip side of that, what I was very disappointed in, I'm gonna tell you what I was disappointed in. I was disappointed in the defensive line, because no matter what quarterback is back there, I expected them to get way more pressure on the I was expecting them to get way more pressure on them. I was expecting that defensive line. They didn't have no sacks yesterday. And that's rare. That's rare for that defense not to have any sacks. That defensive line, that's very rare for them not to have any sacks. That's what I was disappointed in. That's what I was disappointed in the defense in. Like, how come you're not getting any? How come, like, okay, so what? And it didn't look like they were getting a lot of pressure either. I don't know what the defensive calls were, but I'm not used to seeing no sacks from Danielle Hunter or the amount of quarterback pressures. Y'all give me a second. Let me look this up. Let me look. Quarterback pressures, defense. Here we go. Danielle had 3. Will had 1. Mario Edwards had 2. That's it. Henry had 1. Tommy had 1, and Derek Barnett had 1. One quarterback pressure. I'm not used to seeing that. I'm not used to seeing that from I'm not used to seeing that from the Houston Texans defensive line. And that was probably one of the most that's what got me like wondering in the second half, like, what are y'all doing? Like, where my stats at? How many yards did they give up to? What did I do? Where is my paper? Where is my paper? Oh, here we go. Mac Jones with 19 for 30 for 230 yards and 2 touchdowns in the second half. The defense gave up a total of 273 yards. And so the linebacker play once Azeez got ejected from the game kind of changed. And AD, I think AD will agree with me on this. We could have seen some better pass coverage from Henry To'oTo'o. His pass coverage has stepped up this year in his second year, but he is going to have to be just a little bit better. He's so aggressive that he doesn't read and react. Sometimes he just reacts. AD, you could tell, you drop it in the comments if I'm wrong. He just reacts. And so I want to see him, read a little bit more and then react. And I understand that they have a swarm mentality. They have a swarm mentality, and it's one of the things that has, that has helped him and has hurt him. So I did not like the fact that the way that the defense played in the second half, but I did like how the Houston Texans offense played in the second half. They finally got some offensive touchdowns like they're supposed to do, like they should do, and especially against a team like the Jacksonville, especially against a team like Jacksonville, they should get that. Hold on, I was at the game out of 15 third down. They only blitzed once. Yep. D-line didn't have any sacks last game versus Jacksonville. Only sacks came from Eric Murray, and that's what I'm saying. I don't understand what it is, what it is about that, or why they played that way. But I was very impressed by the way that the Houston Texans offense played in the second half. I think that Bobby called a real good game. I think that CJ was comfortable in the pocket. The offensive line only gave up, I think they only gave up 2 sacks and 9 pressures on the day. I think Juice Scruggs didn't have any, and there was no quarterback pressures and no sacks given up by Juice Scruggs. And so the way that they played in the second half, I like that. I like the way that the Houston Texans offense played in the second half, and given the time. If CJ is given the time, he can make things work. I loved what Nico Collins was able to do on Sunday. Joe Mixon, when they needed him the most, when they needed him the most, he stepped up and did what he was supposed to do. I agree with this, AD. Both sacks were on CJ, and I felt like he could have got the ball out of his hands a little bit quicker. But well, like you said, yeah, the first sack. No, we're right. Maybe one of the sacks, but seeing what Bobby called in the second half and seeing how they executed that in the second half, watching how Joe Mixon played and Nico Collins, I listen. I was very impressed by all of that, and like I said, I think Bobby called a good game. I just wish, it's crazy because you watch and Joe gets going, Nico gets going. There was a Dalton Schultz sighting on yesterday. Side note, hey, I can't wait till the bye week is over because the first thing I'm going to do once the bye week is over and the players are back in the locker room is go right to Dalton Schultz because him and I had a conversation about jumping. And I think that it was after watching a Cowboys game, both of those tight ends were jumping over people. And I came in and I said, hey, man, do they just teach that in Dallas? Or is that just something they're doing? He said, no, that's something they're doing because I'm not doing it. I'm not jumping. I'm keeping my feet on the ground. Then you went airborne and got hurt. That was crazy to me. But like I said, I like what Bobby calls. So you got Joe, you got Nico, you got Dalton, but Tank only had one catch for 23 yards. I'm still not seeing the continuity that I need to see on the offensive side of the ball. I'm still not seeing the spreading out of the ball, everybody getting an opportunity to touch the ball, everybody getting an opportunity to be productive. And I understand that that pass to Tank, it should have been a pass interference call. And I understand what CJ was doing when he could not just make that throw, especially with the defender standing right there at first. And then he made the throw that he could. And so that's why it looked like it was short. But I still need to see Tank more involved. I still need to see Tank more involved into this offense. But I do like what Bobby did on yesterday. All right, so the Houston Texans are 8-5 heading into the bye week. It is not bad, especially for a team that has played a lot of football, right? Houston Texans have played a lot of football. Y'all remember, they're one of two teams who started OTAs early. They're one of two teams who started training camp early. Because I think it was them and the Chicago Bears, right? Because that's who they played in the Hall of Fame game. You remember with the Hall of Fame game on their schedule, with their extra game on their schedule, they started the extra preseason game on their schedule. They started early. Now we're heading into week 14. They're just now getting their bye. You know how, listen, it's sad enough that for some of these rookies and even some of these second year players, they're still getting acclimated to playing football for this long. Like, this is a long time to play football. This is a long time to play football for players like Kamari Lassiter and Kalen Bullock. You know, CJ, had gotten used to it. Tank is getting used to it. Like, there's still a lot of Cade Stover. This is a lot of football to be played for him. They've been playing football for a very long time without a break. And what I mean by a break is a bye week. And you typically want to see the bye week in the middle of the season. I know the NFL can't give everybody the bye week at the same time, but by the same token, this late into the season, the bye week. Now, they could have given it to them because they know they got to play 3 games in 10 days, which is going to be a lot. That is going to be a lot of football for the Houston Texans to play. But maybe that's why they gave them to them late. I don't know. I haven't gotten a chance to talk to the guy the people who make the schedule. Maybe we'll get a chance to talk with them soon. Maybe at the end of the season we will. But I like the fact that the Houston Texans are 8-5. They control their own destiny. And I'm going to be honest with you. When you look around the AFC, I mean, one of the stronger teams are the Buffalo Bills, a team who the Texans have beaten this season. I'm not a strong believer in Pittsburgh, and because Pittsburgh plays too up and down, they play too up and down, and they get too emotional. And so, even as bad as we've seen the Houston Texans play, if they can come off this bye week and put something together, they could probably make a run. They can make a run. Like I said, after watching Kansas City play and after watching Baltimore play, I'm still a firm believer that the Houston Texans are going to get one of those games. I think they're going to beat Miami, and I think that they're going to beat either Kansas City or Baltimore. I don't think that they lose both of those games. That's just me. I honestly, truly don't believe that they lose both of those games. But 8-5 is not bad. 8-5 is not bad. Oh, you know what? Hold on, Jack. You're right. You're right. Hey, Chargers are playing some good football. They got a good head coach over there. They're playing some good football. They could be a surprise team. The Broncos can be a surprise team too. We'll just have to see. So at 8-5, I don't think that that's bad, especially with the amount of football that they've played, this year. So let me hop into some of these comments before I move on. I thought after the first sack we lost CJ for the season. That boy tough. Yeah, he is tough. He is tough. Texas needs to be better in closing teams out when they have a big lead. Hey, you know what, Deverett? I want to say yes, but I also want to say anytime that they play these divisional foes, anytime they play Tennessee, Indianapolis, or Jacksonville, I expect those games to be close. I never expect a blowout. I didn't expect them to. I expected the game on yesterday, even without Trevor Lawrence. I expected it to be close because these divisional games, they're always close. The pass interference against the Jags. Yeah, they didn't call it. They didn't call it. Can't wait to see Beck and Mixon in the backfield together. Beck like contact and won't shy away from it. That's true. If a quarterback runs into a wall, do you blame the wall? Oh man. Now you said the quarterback should have stopped before he hit the wall. Oh, we're gonna talk about that. Hold on, Brandon. We're getting there. We are getting there. The defense didn't play that good after Al. Why, Cedric? Just okay. All right. When CJ is given time, he can be a top 10 quarterback that changes dramatically when his internal clock is sped up by poor protection. Shout out to the online for doing that job on Sunday. Exactly. The AFC is definitely going to be interesting. Remember when the refs versus the Bill told us that late hits versus Stroud were okay as long as it was above the knees. Um, uh, what's up, D Skills? If CJ got hit in the same way, we would be doing the most. So I'm not going to be a hypocrite. So hold on. I got that out of the way. Now let's get to what we're here for. I got all that out the way. Let me check that off. And D Skills, all I'm gonna say is this. Real quick. Because I've seen this, right? I've seen this. I've seen this. And I've seen this a lot. I've seen this a lot on Sunday. And I've seen it a lot today as well. If CJ got hit in the same way, you're right. If CJ got hit like Trevor Lawrence got hit, there would be a lot of fans complaining. But they'll just be complaining because they're fans. But if you take away the fandom and strip away the fandom of both teams and just watch the play, that's the problem. There's too many people emotionally invested in this that they're not watching the play. I can do it because one, Jacksonville nor Houston is my team. And if that was Dak being hit like that, I would have been. We're going to get to that. I don't think it's. I just think that fans are going to side with their teams, and so mhm. Hold on. What you say, AD? CJ wouldn't have done no dumb shit like that. I still think Teddy Bridgewater should have slid earlier. T Law slid late. Let's go ahead and jump into this thing, y'all. Because we here. We here. And I've reserved all of my energy. Get myself together. I've reserved all of my energy and I have been clear and concise throughout this show. So now things may get a little ghetto, and I'm going to be honest with you. Let me go ahead and say this up front. It may get a little ghetto, and if you're not here for ghetto, then go ahead and slide out now. I appreciate you. Thank you for being a part of the Big Sarge experience. So I wrote this down. And I'm gonna tell you exactly what I wrote. Azeez is not a dirty player. Azeez is not a dirty player. And just like I said on the Locked On Texans podcast, true. If you want to say, well, Sarge, you're biased, you can say that I'm biased because I actually talk to Azeez on a consistent basis, on and off the record. We're allowed in the locker rooms. Let's just take away Sundays. We're not going to talk about Sundays because I see him on Sundays as well. Let's just take Sundays away. So we go into the locker rooms on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I talk to Azeez for the most part on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, on the record and off the record. Azeez is by far one of the best people you ever want to meet in your life, though. He always has time to talk to the media, whether win or lose. If he ain't got something else that they got him doing, Azeez is going to talk. In the community, Azeez is always in the community doing things, saying things. Azeez is one of those guys who had to fight all of his life to get to where he is now. If you don't know Azeez's story, or if you do know Azeez's story, then I'm sorry that you're going to have to sit through this again. But if you don't know here, and this is your first time hearing it, let me tell you this. Azeez grew up homeless. They had to move from place to place. Azeez said when he got in college, that was probably the most steady he had been in his life in a long time. So he overcame adversity as far as being homeless. Then he went undrafted. And D'Amico Ryans, who is his head coach now, who was the linebackers coach at the time in San Francisco, said, hey, I want this guy. And he went out and he got Azeez and he brought him in. And Azeez played for the 49ers. Azeez played for the Titans, and now he plays for the Texans. And so I'm giving you his backstory because this is a young man that on the field, he's going to play passionately. He's going to play every play as if he's trying to get a contract. I'm telling you something I know, not something I heard. Azeez plays as if he's still trying to get a contract. He still plays as if he's undrafted trying to make a roster. That's what has gotten him through, and that is what has gotten him through his years of playing in the NFL. So he plays with a lot of passion. He's very smart, has a very high IQ. If you've heard from training camp until now, the only thing you've ever heard is how smart Azeez is and how he is like the quarterback on the defense. He knows the defensive plays and he knows the offense that he's going against. Film study, amazing. Pulls him and toward to the side, talks to him, even when we're in the locker room sometime. Him and Henry are sitting there doing film study. So, with that being said, I had to give you that backstory because I wanted you to know Azeez is not a dirty player. Not from what I've seen, not from my interactions with him, not from me watching him in the past. He's not a dirty player. He just plays with a lot of passion. Now, let's talk about this hit. Let's talk about this hit on Sunday. My first question is this, because I see a lot of people that are saying, well, Azeez could have pulled up. Do you know how fast both of those players were coming at each other? See, it's easy for you on the outside to say, hey, man, it was hard for I mean, it should have been easy. He had enough time to pull up. It's easy for you to say it. But I got a chance to speak with some former players on yesterday. And they said the hit is subjective. You can look at it from either way and make a case and a point either way. They said, but Sarge, I'm going to tell you, in that play, looking at that play, it's not as easy for Azeez to stop like that. He can't just stop and pull up. Also, you're taught in the NFL to go until the whistle blows. One, and I get it. When the quarterback starts to slide, he's giving himself up. You're supposed to pull back off of him. He said, but Sarge, why did he wait so late to slide? That's what I was saying. Why did he wait so late to slide? my other issue is, and Doug Peterson should have taught this, or should have told him this. Hey man, you're coming back. You're coming back from a shoulder injury. You shouldn't be taking any unnecessary hits. We've also seen in the NFL where players like Patrick Mahomes fakes these type of slides to get extra yards. And so you get to the point to whereas both of them are facing each other now, both of them are facing each other, and you want Azeez to pull back. Cool. If you want Azeez to pull back, then you should also want Trevor Lawrence to slide earlier. Because the way that it happened, of course, we're looking at it. You looked at it in real time if you were watching the game, if you were at the game. But now we're going back and we're looking at it in slow motion. In slow motion, that means a lot. That means a lot. That shows and can create a bias. Keep showing the play at regular time. Keep showing the play at regular time, because if you break it down now, bam, which is the exact same thing what I talked about earlier, right? What I talked about earlier. In real time, it may not look as if the defender held Tank Dell up on that long pass from CJ to Tank. It may not have looked like he grabbed Tank around the waist. It may not look like he impeded Tank from being able to get to the ball in real time. But if you slow it down, you can see that was pass interference. So when you start to slow things down and you're looking at it in slow motion, of course, that hit looks terrible. But in real time, that is not easy to do. For people who have played the game, whether you're on the offensive side or the defensive side, you know that in football, everything is moving quickly and everything is bang, 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 bang. Now, one of the things that's being left out in these narratives, especially by some of these former players, and like I said, some of these former players are talking now, is subjective. If you really want to get a real clear and concise view on it, go to Kurt Warner's Twitter page and read what he had to say about it. This is a former quarterback who played the game at a high level. Go read what he had to say about it. I think that was one of the best takes ever. And I'm not going to regurgitate this take. I want you to read it in real time so you can see it for yourself. But when you're looking at these plays, if you played the game, you know that things move fast. If you watch the way that Azeez hits him, people are saying he launched. No, he led with his shoulder. Because if he doesn't lead with his shoulder, he's leading with his helmet. And now that's a whole different argument that we're having. Azeez also hit him in the shoulder. His head went back and hit. You know what? Don't worry about it. Y'all give me a second. You know what? I just thought about it. Don't worry about it. I got it. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Because y'all know what we could do here. Y'all know what we like to do on Sports Talk with Big Sarge. Y'all know what we like to do. Y'all give me 1 second. Y'all give me 1 second. Let me see if I can find if they got it pulled up. Let me see if they got it. They got it. Hold on 1 second. Here we go. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna share my screen with y'all in just a second. I'm looking at I want to give you all the best angles and the best views. One second. Don't worry, I got y'all. Y'all know I got y'all. I think this may be the best. This may be the best view. This may be the best view. Bingo. Let me share my screen with you all. Share screen. Let's look at this in real time, y'all. We're going to look at it from multiple angles. Let me start the play over. This is the play in real time. Here we go. Now, look at when he starts to slide. How much time does Azeez have? How does Azeez know right here he's about to slide? Right there, the quarterback slide. Now, let's look at it from the end zone view. Now, watch. Now, you're looking at the same thing Azeez is looking at. Y'all don't think that that's a late slide? I'm the only one that thinks that that's a late slide. Here we go. Another view. Bring that back. Right here. Watch when Trevor Lawrence gets out. Watch. Real time. Azeez. Real time. Coming down here full speed. Boom. I'm the only one. I'm the only one. I just watched that from 3 different angles, and I still don't see where Azeez could have done anything differently. Y'all, I've been trying to be. Have I not been just? Dude, we get it. You love the Texans, but Azeez made a stupid play. Yeah, yo, you dumb as hell. What in the make it? I love the Texans. I'm a Cowboys fan, my guy. Cowboys. I cover the Texans. My job is to cover the Texans. So how in the hell can you say you love the Texans? Azeez just made a stupid and a dirty play. You stupid and dirty. Get off of my feet, yayo. Get out. Get out. I ain't got time for you idiots today. Bye. Bye. Bye, yayo. Get your ass out of here, man. We over here trying to have a real conversation. We over here talking about some real things, and you want to hop in? No, good day. Bye. Get out. Back to what we were talking about. I just like there's a lot of people today on the airwaves, on their podcasts, on social media. A lot of them are making Azeez out to be a dirty player, and a lot of people are not looking at this play as and there's some people that I had some respect for that are not looking at this play as a football play. And that's why I say Azeez hit let everyone know that we are in the soft era of football. Soft era of football. Hold on one second. Hey, Joseph, who did you piss off to have to cover the Texans as a Cowboys fan? Nobody. It's my job. So there's a lot of people right now on the airwaves, on social media, on podcasts. Azeez is a dirty player. Azeez is this, that, and the other. One, because I'm here now. Y'all done brought me. Y'all, y'all done brought the pettiness out of me. Now let's go ahead and just get here. One, some of you all who are making these comments about Azeez, and some of you all are making these comments about the play. Cool. Make the comments about the play. I ain't tripping. Like I said, it's subjective. You make the comments about the play. When you start talking about Azeez, if you have the access to talk to Azeez, if you can come to NRG, meaning that you are a credentialed media member, and you can come to, then come. Because a lot of you all who are making these comments ain't had, you walk into the locker room, Azeez is going to ask who you are. but you're doing it for likes, clicks, retweets, and things like that. Oh yeah, let's create this narrative. Okay, then cool. Create your narrative, say what you need to say, this, that, and other. Then use your credential to come to NRG, walk into the locker room, and have the conversation with Azeez. See, I can say these things because I'm boots on ground and I do my job. So you can call Azeez whatever it is you want to call him. That's the people who don't have the access. If you have the ability to have the access, get off your ass and come to NRG. I said what I said, and y'all know I stand 10 toes down with what I say. I believe in what I say, and I am not afraid of nobody. I'm not afraid of nobody and no platform. The only people that I am afraid of is the VA. Some of y'all will get that, some of you won't. The VA, hey, I will back off. But for you others, I don't need your platform. I don't need to be on your platform. Your platform doesn't impress me. What unimpresses me is the fact that you have all these things to say when you could come down to the stadium and have the conversation. I respect the people who are doing the work, who has an opinion on this, as far as what type of person and player Azeez is. I don't care nothing about what you think about the hit. That's left up to you. I think some of you all have been around long enough to know that that hit in the 80s and the 70s, the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s, the era that I grew up in, when the NFL used to make money off of big hits, when the NFL used to promote big hits, like that's the era I grew up in. Nobody wants to see Trevor Lawrence get hurt. I didn't want to see Trevor Lawrence get hurt. I hate the fact that he got hurt. I watched how he got hurt. But to categorize Azeez as a dirty player, to categorize Azeez as all these other things that y'all have been saying about him, stop it. That's some bullshit. That is bull crap. And it's double bull crap for you credential media members who only show up on Sundays to NRG. I said it. You know how to find me. And y'all know you done been around me long enough. I said what I said. I'm cool. I'm not looking for no smoke. I ain't looking for nothing. But I'm not going to not say what I want to say. Because what if I told you all? People are as honest as their income will allow them to be. And unfortunately for y'all, my income will allow me to say what I'm saying. You know who my boss is? Brian Bearfield and Christina Bearfield. Those are my bosses. Brian and Christina. They run Big Sarge Media LLC. That's it. And I'm cool with that. People are only as honest as their income will allow them to be. My income will allow me to say this. I told you all. Because there's some people in here anonymously right now who's watching, who know that I'm talking directly to them, and I'm cool. I ain't got no personal issue with you at all, period. I don't. But y'all also know I ain't in no cliques around here in Houston media. I ain't in no cliques. I don't need no new friends. I went to a HBCU. I'm a proud member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. I was in the Army. I got a lot of friends. I got a lot of people. I see you all in passing. I don't hang out with y'all. What are we doing here? Now, I'm saying all that to reiterate my point that if you think these things that you're saying about Azeez's character, put in the work. And after the bye week, come to NRG. If he's suspended, you may not be able to talk to him. But when he comes off of suspension, have a conversation with him. Some of y'all ain't had a conversation with Azeez since training camp. You don't know his character. You don't know who he is. He doesn't know who you are. But the people that he see on a consistent basis, cool. Talk about the hit all you want. I don't care. I don't care. To me, to me, he should have been penalized. He should have even been ejected. You could say that if you're trying to take that type of stuff out of football, you don't want big hits in football anymore. Okay, cool. But don't call him no dirty player. And don't attack him personally, attack his personal character, because you don't know it. You don't know it. And on the flip side, why didn't Trevor Lawrence slide earlier if you have a shoulder injury? Some of these people on air crying right now, oh, Azeez, blah, 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 blah. Okay, then so could Trevor Lawrence have slid early? How many times did we watch that play from 3 different angles? 3 different angles. In the heat of the moment, that is a bang, bang play. Penalize him, of course. Eject him, cool. I got it. But all this other things that come after it, and oh my God, side note, hey, Daryl Moose Johnston, you played for one of the dirtiest teams on the field and off the field when you were with the Cowboys. I know. I've been watching the Cowboys. I was watching the Cowboys way before you even got there. I was watching the Cowboys when Robert Newhouse was the fullback, way before your time, Daryl. During your era, the Cowboys was one of the dirtiest teams on the field and off the field. And here you are in the booth trying to call somebody dirty. You hypocrite. You hypocrite. Because you're in the booth now you're going to talk about dirty play. Well, where was this dirty rhetoric when you were playing? Hey, Daryl, off the field, what about the White House? Hey, Daryl, off the field, what about the character of your teammates? On the field, what about those late hits? What about the way they taught you how to block to try to take out the knees? What about the blindside blocks? Come on, Daryl. Come on. Don't do that. Don't be that guy. Do not be that guy. So now, one, Azeez should have been penalized. Azeez should have been ejected. I don't think that Azeez should be suspended, but I do think that he should receive a heavy fine. And I think that he's going to receive a heavy fine because of the altercation that happened with Chicago in week 2. They're probably going to bring that into play and fine him a lot of money. I don't think they're going to suspend him because they know that Azeez Al-Shaair does not have a history of this. Some of y'all are trying to compare him to Vontaze Burfict. And I said, yep, we're in that era where you want Elon Musk to give you a little extra money. You're looking for YouTube to give you some money. You depending on them clicks, likes, and retweets. And so now that's what you got to do. Your ratings are like trash. So that's what you got to do. I ain't done. I got a couple of more minutes before I have to get out here and head over to KPRC. So I said, Azeez is not a dirty player. Why didn't Trevor Lawrence slide earlier? Because he has a shoulder injury. 2, another thing is we're in the soft era. Big hits used to be a thing, but it's not anymore. Now Azeez maybe should have hit softer. Maybe Azeez should have hit him softer. Maybe should have just tapped him on the hips, and like they're playing 2-hand touch below. Sounds like something Diddy would do at his house, don't it? I'm sorry, y'all. This is my mind. I get petty like that. Diddy probably played. Sorry. Maybe Azeez should have hit him softer. And then we wouldn't be going through this. Last thing I have for you all, and then I'm going to get up out of here. Dear Jacksonville Jaguar fans, hear me out. Don't let the hit take away Don't let the hit from Azeez Al-Shaair on Trevor Lawrence take away the big fact. Let's look at the I'm sorry, the bigger point, not the bigger fact, but it is a fact. Let's look at the larger point. Let's look at the panoramic view instead of the selfie view. Hey, y'all suck. And in the last 2 years, especially from the second half, after your bye week last year to now, y'all suck. Y'all are 2-10. I don't even want to talk about in your franchise history. You never had like consecutive like winning seasons. Of course, you went 9-8 twice. That doesn't really count. But in the last 2 years, under Doug Peterson, y'all suck. You had 2 wins on the season. You had an epic collapse in 2023. Sure, no problem. Use Azeez as the scapegoat. Use Azeez as the scapegoat and not focus on the fact that you lost another game. Let's not focus on the fact that your team is horrible. Let's not focus on the fact that I don't understand why Doug Peterson still has a job. Sure, let's just keep talking about Azeez's hit on Trevor Lawrence. Let's just deflect. Let's not talk about the fact that y'all are a horrible franchise, that your team is no good, and that with the talent that you all have, you still can't put it together. We watched on yesterday, on yesterday, y'all know I don't like to do that. On Sunday, you played against the reigning AFC South divisional champions from 2023, right? Reigning means that they are the current, right? You played against the current AFC South champions from 2023. You know how they got that? How did it, you know what? I mean, because you know it better than I do. Texans fans know it better than I do. Drop it in the comments. But if not, if this is your first time here, don't worry about it. I got you. Hey, after the bye week in 2023, last season, after going 6-2 in the first 8 weeks, how many games you think that that the Jacksonville Jaguars won after that? They had an opportunity to win and get into the playoffs, win and you're in, and they lost a game to the Tennessee Titans. And then they wasn't in the playoffs anymore. So not only did you not win the AFC South, the Houston Texans did. Not only did you lose the game to the Tennessee Titans, you didn't even get in the playoffs, and you started 6-2. And now this season, this current season, the 2024 season, you're 2-10. 2-10. Sure. Let's just keep harping on the fact that Azeez Al-Shaair put a hard hit on Trevor Lawrence and knocked him out of the game. He was penalized and he was ejected. But you know who else got, you know who got to stay in the game? Doug Peterson. Why? You have a bad franchise. You have a bad organization. And in the last year and a half, you have not looked good. You're 2-10. But today, Monday morning, all you want to focus on is the hit. You're not talking about the loss. I love to do this. Hold on. Don't worry. I got y'all. Let's go. AFC South. Jacksonville. 2-9. Lost 4 in a row. 0-6 in away games. 2-3 home. 2-4 in the conference. Minus 108-point differential. Hold on. It gets better. Let's look. Schedule. Dolphins lost. Browns lost. Bills lost. Texans lost. Colts win. Bears lost. Patriots win. Packers lost. Eagles lost. Vikings lost. Lions lost. Texans lost. Before you played the Texans, you got beat by the Lions 52-6. Can you honestly say that in your next to end the season, are you going to beat the Titans? Are you going to beat the Jets? Are you going to beat the Raiders? Are you going to beat the Titans? Are you going to beat the Colts? Sure. Let's talk about Azeez. Let's talk about the hit that he laid on Trevor Lawrence. Cool, let's talk about it. But are we going to just overlook the fact that you all have a terrible team? Your team is horrible. They're horrible. But yet, for the rest of the season, all you're going to talk about is Azeez's hit. Not about the fact that coming into the game, you were 2-9. 2-9. You were on a 3-game losing streak coming in. What are we going to talk about that? We're not going to talk about the fact that your team is one of the worst teams in football. How many times have y'all? You know what? I got to get out of here, y'all. Let me look at some of these comments so I can get up out of here. I'm gonna get hit. Don't play football. The slide shouldn't have been an option. Yep. Yayo did tap out like the other dude. Oh wow. Soft doesn't mean leaning forward with the forearm. That's Bush League. There's a reason NFL changed those rules. There's a reason the Jags players fought him. Cool. Just like Azeez said, they took up for their player. They took up for their player. So let me ask you a question, Vincent. What if he doesn't lean forward and Trevor Lawrence doesn't slide? He keeps running, right? And now we're talking about look at these players not being aggressive. Look at these defensive players. Look at that, because that's going to show up on film as well. You know what D'Amico's going to ask him? Hey, man, why you let up? Why you didn't complete the play? So, yes, it is soft. That man got a job to do, too. Just like Trevor Lawrence has a job to do, he has a job to do. Y'all look at Vincent. He wants attention. Let's give it to him. Al-Shaair is a dirty player. Look at him punching Roschon Johnson. Look at him hitting Caleb Williams and Tony Pollard out of the sideline. He said, I didn't know where I was when I hit Tony Pollard. He said, I had no clue on where I was. I thought that he was still in bounds. So that's on him. Punching Roschon Johnson. Hey, was Roschon Johnson in the game at that time, or was he attacking? Azeez? Come on, Vincent. Come on. Y'all, where these people coming from today? The commentators on TV honestly made this worse. They dragged on and on after the hit, and they should have moved on. They got people more and more emotional about exactly, Alexis. Exactly. Yes, exactly. They wouldn't stop. Commentators always talking more other teams. ROC. What up, though? These complainers just don't watch football anymore outside their own team. These hits happen almost every week. Yep. Appreciate that. Agree, but it's all about ratings on TV. That's visual. Something's going to get clicks. Exactly. When they can get it going, these skills. Hell, wasn't their thing messed up? The hell, we couldn't see replays for a minute. Yeah, Demo, you right. You right. You're right, Demo. That you're right about that. I like John. I respect John. I respect his work. I respect him as a Hall of Famer. He's wrong about that. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Preach, Dre Eagles. Hmm. And yet they get, and when they do get around these players, they all, oh gosh. Mhm. Hold on. A lot of we said that. We said that the effects from the hit, Daniel, is from the fact that he hit him in the shoulder with his shoulder. We said that. I said he should have been penalized and he should have been ejected. But it wasn't a dirty hit. And if you watch the game, hey, look, watch the games this week. Watch how many players' heads bounce up off the off the turf. Yep, Demo. All right, y'all got to get out of here. Mhm, 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 mhm. Okay. Well, I'm saying that he should have been ejected for the hit, though. I still agree with that. When the quarterback runs into a wall, do you blame the wall? All right, y'all. You've been tuned to the Sports Talk with Big Sarge Show. I'm your host, Big Sarge. Make sure you follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter at Big Sarge Sports with a Z at the end. Follow me on the Tick and the Talk at Big Sarge Media. Subscribe to my YouTube channel at Big Sarge Media. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end. You know, we do everything for the gram. And make sure you subscribe to the Locked On Texans podcast and the Locked On Texans YouTube channel. I appreciate each and every one of you all. Catch me on Marcus. You still drunk. You late. You missed everything. Rewatch the show, Marcus. But make sure you catch me on KPRC 2 Plus. That's 11 to 11:30 Central Standard Time. Make sure KPRC Plus. Y'all let me know how I did. I'm about to go over there and talk some Texans. That boy gonna talk about, oh, you love the Texans. That's why you have to say that. Not, hey, Big Sarge, you telling the truth. Oh, Sarge, you love the Texans. That's why you're talking like that, Sarge. Because you love the Texans. I'm out.
Hard work. Hard work. Hard work.